Hi, I'm Jimmy Osmond, and this time on Spotlight, we're going to feature a charity that's very near and dear to my heart. Many years ago, my mother wanted to start a charity to help children with hearing disabilities because in the Osmond family, our two oldest brothers, Verl and Tom, were born deaf. Well, that organization has grown now to treat all children with all diseases and is known today as the Children's Miracle Network. We're involved with over 170 hospitals in the United States and Canada and treat over 17 million children each year, thanks to good people like you. Having sat on the Children's Miracle Network board for many, many years, I've had the privilege of seeing some amazing stories. I want to share with you right now the courage of a young man named Spencer and the good folks at IWK Health Center.
When he was born, they had to airlift him to the IWK. I found out that they didn't think he was even going to make the flight, and they then identified that he probably had what's called spondyloepiphyseal dysplasia congenita. When I got to the IWK, I stayed right beside him the whole time, and you start thinking about all the little things you're going to miss. The thought of never being able to hold his hand and walk across the street, never taking him to the duck pond, never taking him the first day of school. We brought in a cake and gave all the nurses cake and brought presents every month. And I said I was going to celebrate every month that I had him.
How could this guy that was so sick have come out to be such a vital, active, bright young guy? Spencer was in the neonatal unit at the hospital when I first saw him, and they'd asked me to see him about a cleft of his palate, which had been a minor problem that they'd noticed compared to some of the problems that Spencer had.
Spencer's condition is a rather complex one. He has a congenital, he was born with a condition where his long bones aren't growing. The type of dwarfism he has is associated with some instability of his neck, that his neck can move back and forth further. The treatment for this requires a surgical intervention, and neurosurgeons are typically the prime movers in this case, and the orthopedic surgeon take bone and support the area, so you basically fuse or stiffen that upper area of the spine. You used to like stickers, didn't you? Huh? Do you want some for old time's sake? Or are you too big now?
No, sure.
Oh, okay, good.
For old time's sake.
For old time's sake, excellent.
Hey, Spencer! Hey! Oh, did you miss in class? I missed in class. That's noise,
I treat him just like a normal friend, and he treats me like a normal one. It's really great. There's some perks to it, you know, like the elevator and stuff.
All right, so we haven't got any more.
I've got a buddy over here. He's a good friend of all of our Spencer McKay, right? Hey, Spencer. But this is what's new with Spencer. Let's show everybody at home there. That is what's new with Spencer. Look at that. Holy Hannah.
You always want to provide excellent care for children like Spencer. They've already been through so much. If you read over his history and you know what he's been through, in his case, we did have to take him to the operating room a few times to do treatment for him.
You've got neurosurgery, but then that would knock off one. We've got 6 doctor's appointments next week.
Wow, that's a busy day. It's a privilege for me, and it's an inspiration for me to meet these families who just can go through everything they've gone through and still be smiling and positive and happy at the end of the day. In the Maritimes, we are the regional center, and we have all the specialists here.
It hasn't always been the IWK. Initially it was the Halifax Children's Hospital when it was first opened. And it's been the only pediatric hospital east of Montreal in Canada since forever.
Before I had a sick child, I didn't realize the importance of a hospital for kids. It doesn't hit home to you until you've actually had a child who's had to stay there. Spencer was in there for almost 2 years, and I lived in that hospital, and I became family. I became, you know, just a part of the fixture. I certainly would love to say, without a doubt, that I appreciate from my total heart the IWK and the Children's Miracle Network. this is the biggest eye-opener to me of how important these organizations are and how much they do for the families as well as the sick children.
He's very good for people in the waiting room. When they see Spencer and seeing his engagement with them and his attitude, a lot of people will come in thinking they have serious problems and say, man, I saw that guy out there and I really don't think I should be here.
Humor makes us laugh. Humor brightens us up. Humor is why we're still happy, you know? If we just sat around and thought about all the sad things and never laughed, then where do you think we would be now? Depressed.
So he has a way of disarming them and putting in perspective some of the conditions that we see.
What an inspirational young man. You know, one of the reasons why I think the Children's Miracle Network has been so successful is because 100% of the money stays in the local areas. So if you give money to CMN, it goes directly to your hospital. If you want to get involved in the lives of children just like Spencer, reach out to your local children's hospital and give generously, or click on the link below. I'm Jimmy Osmond. Until next time, we'll see you right here on Spotlight.